Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Clown Planet Daily, well, kind of daily, sort of daily, semi-daily, whatever. February 6, 2026, 9:24 p.m. Welcome to the St. Dorothy Day, St. Timothy. Garnier has them on the 13th, and then I guess the 62 calendar has them on today. Yeah, I don't even know what the new calendar has them on. He's all over, Titus, St. Titus, he's all over the place. It could be today. It's today, and it's the 13th. Traditionally 6th, mega traditionally is 13th. I don't know. Anyway, St. Dorothy and then St. Paul, the martyr, the Japanese martyrs, also for today. Welcome again. Hope you're doing well whenever, wherever you are. As always, Mark, I just need to make you. All the cool kids have somebody like monitoring the chat. I need to do that. I don't know how yet. One day, maybe before I die, I'll figure it out. Anyways, let's get right to it. It could be a long one because it took yesterday off and get 2 days. It's not like things don't happen in 2 days. We're close to going to war. Who knows? Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I'll give it 2-1 odds. Here's Carrie.
The hammer of justice is coming for Epstein's friends.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't believe anything the government tells me. Question everything. The government said it. Why?
Wasn't that a good Trump voice she did?
Would they lie? What, are you brainwashed or something? We're getting justice for COVID tyranny. Trump is partnering with Pfizer. 5D chess. I'm voting for the peace president. Bombing the Middle East and Africa, blowing up boats, and regime change in Venezuela. This is what I voted for. The deep state and technocrats are running scared. Palantir, OpenAI, and other big tech firms are only getting hundreds of millions worth of government contracts because they love me and America and want to protect us. The Democrats want socialism. The U.S. government is taking stakes in private companies. We may get stimulus checks, farmer bailouts, daddy's home. Hate speech is still free speech. Whoa, hate speech against people I like is not free speech. The Democrats are going to destroy this country with reckless spending and debt. If you don't support reckless spending and debt, you're a Democrat. The Democrats are waging war on the Constitution. Are you still talking about the Constitution? My liberty is obviously more important than your safety. Papers, please. Of course my safety is more important than your liberty. If your principles change based on who's in power and what they do, you're not living in principle or freedom. You're living in a cult. One popular cult talking point is Kamala would have been worse. And yet if Kamala had one, many MAGAs would be up in arms about many of the same violations they're excusing from Trump. That said, many Trump voters have since withdrawn their support in light of all the broken promises, flagrant hypocrisy, and lies. This deserves praise. It's not easy to break free of such powerful programming, but it is way too easy to see through one politician, but keep subscribing to the same system that attracts dishonest, power-hungry people and to continue to fall for the false promises of other authoritarian politicians who will seek power after Trump. Truly breaking free doesn't just mean snapping out of the trance of one politician or movement, but questioning and rejecting the nature of the power itself and reclaiming your own.
Vote harder 2028. I still got people that are hating me for just speaking up against this. It's amazing the brainwashing of people on this. For some reason, I bet some would fight harder for MAGA than they would for the faith. Just seeing what people are doing. All right. I played a little. I didn't play this last time. Was it Wednesday? I brought it up and I read the headline. Let me play this for you. Because after I played it afterwards, I didn't, like I said, I didn't play it before until afterwards, and I went, great googly moogly.
Europe, what's
Very
their
sad.
crackdowns on free speech, and they just look less and less like we do.
Yeah.
And there's a real question about whether there's a massive shift happening now in terms of world alliances long term.
Well, it's definitely, I think, a new world order. I think the president has sought to it. There's a new
So here it goes. It's definitely a new world order.
world order in trade. There's a new world order in globalization and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. Obviously, you saw what happened in Venezuela. So yeah, the president is putting a stamp on world history, but fundamentally in an America first way. Like
Please. All right. You've been in the Cunningham school of finding this stuff out for a few months now, or maybe years, depending how long you've been listening to me. Did you catch any of what he just said? He just said globalism MAGA style. Did you hear? Maybe you didn't hear that at first. Okay, I'll play it in. Okay, New World Order. He says.
Well, it's definitely, I think, a new world order. I think
Right there, New World. Okay, we got that. We hear about that before. Let's go.
the president has sought to it. There's a new world order in trade.
New World Order in trade. Global.
There's a new world order in globalization.
New World Order and globalization literally just says it.
And the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order, and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean,
Now, New World Order and alliance structures across the globe.
NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's
Nothing he said so far is within America first. It's literally been global, new global ideas.
leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. Obviously, you saw what happened in Venezuela. So yeah, the president is putting a stamp on world history.
Stamp on world history, global history, world history.
But fundamentally in an America first way. Like that.
So it's globalism, American first style. So globalism is okay now if I don't know. How's that? We're talking about globalism is okay now. That's what he literally just said. We're doing globalism, MAGA style. Let's see. Stop. I don't know. My mouth dropped when I heard it. Maybe you guys don't see it that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I could be. Here is Trump the other day. We are going to rededicate America as one nation under God, which the seal of approval from everyone clapping like seals. Yay. All you have to do is anything. We're going to destroy these people for God. We're going to kill everyone under God. We're going to do this for God. And then we'll get with using God. First off, these United States has not or never was and is not a one nation. The one nation idea comes from Frederick Engels. The first time anybody talked about one nation is the Bellamy Pledge, which he's a socialist, got kicked out of it. He got excommunicated from the Baptists because he was a socialist. How bad you got to be excommunicated from the Baptist? He wrote saying that his whole idea of the pledge was to indoctrinate the kids so that they could keep the idea going about what the war was about, which was destroying the republic. So now we're going to keep doing one nation, and the other God came part back during 1950. The KFC, Knights of Columbus, brought that in. So it's not like it's one of those things like we have to have that. It's they inserted that into the socialist pledge because it made people feel good. But yeah, one nation, and as global geopolitics and empire says, which God? Remember, we're bombing the you-know-what out of pretty much everybody, ethnic cleansing and all this, and we dare to bring up God in this. And during the same prayer breakfast, Trump calls Massey a moron. There's something wrong with them. We call him Rand Paul Jr. They love voting no, which is pretty much he's saying if you don't toe the line, he doesn't like you. So yeah, Kim, sorry about that. I decided to start early. We got done with the kids going down earlier, so I just went, let me get going so it's not midnight. So I still got a couple things to do beforehand. And so the prayer breakfast, remember this, he calls Massey a moron. You probably already seen, I got the video later. He stands up to Bill Clinton and say, people got to stop it. I like Bill. Massey's a moron. Bill Clinton needs to be defended, and people's got to stop beating up on the Clintons. Lock her up. Hashtag. Do you think it's a good idea to join the Knights, says Ronnie. Yes, I would say yes, unless it's strictly for the life insurance. Now, there's other groups that do life insurance, like a friend of mine does Catholic Foresters. I actually joined Catholic Foresters. I have the rest of the family on the Knights of Columbus life insurance, and I have the Foresters because it's pay less and you get more out of it. So I'm all for you. I'm all for everyone. Every male should have life insurance anyways. because you see some people have died, and then they're almost they leave the family in a bind, and you're obviously all the family is doing a GoFundMe praying that some people will donate. Whereas if the men would just go ahead and get life insurance, $100 a month or something like that, like the Foresters are pretty cheap. Get you a good life insurance policy just in case you croak, and then your family's taken care of. And then that's what I think about Samaritans. I got Samaritans Ministries health insurance. It's not health insurance; it's paid through thing, and they have it. All you have to do is pay $10 extra, and it's catastrophic level. So I think it goes up to like $4 million coverage. So again, when I see people, I hated that I see a lot of people, asking for it because of bad medical things. But I'm going, don't put yourself in a bind because you dislike health insurance or life insurance. Get it, play the game, but get it in the right way. Don't get Blue Cross Blue Shield or anything like that. Get these side, get Samaritans. Get Tom Woods has another one. Tom Woods is one that he advertises. I think it's, if you have a kid, the minimum you'll pay is $3,000, something like that. With Samaritans, you pay the first $300. It's like that's the deductible, and then they cover everything else after that. So I would, and then life insurance, I would definitely get life insurance. Now, depending on how old you are, I actually tried selling it for a couple months. If you're my age, whole health is a terrible idea because it costs way exponentially more and you don't get anything out of it. So if you're young, you just get married, say you're 20 years old and you're doing it right, or 22, low 20s, high teens, you know what you want in life. You just got married, get whole health. It's cheap. You don't have to pay another thing out. You don't have to go against it again, and you'll gain money out of it by the time you're 50. It's like these Trump accounts. It's the same idea. And you get it for your kids too. You get a child rider for like $20. With Knights of Columbus, like 25, I think it is. And so it's what Trump's doing with the Trump accounts. With the child rider, you pay $25, and when they're 18, they got 50 grand in their account. They start up right there, and they get that, and they can do whatever they want with it. So I would join the Knights just for the life insurance, and that's it. Because really it's just cooks in the kitchen. There's some groups that are better, that do more than others. Most of the time is a bunch of old guys who just sit around, and the only time they get uppity is if someone asks about getting into the bank account. They used to be excellent. 1920s, there's a video of them doing all kinds of cool things, especially to help them learn the Cristeros. But nowadays, not so much. But yeah, either way, if you don't get the Knight, if you join the Knights, join it just for the insurance. If you don't join the Knights, get the Catholic Foresters or find something equivalent. So hopefully that helps, Ronnie. Here's 10th Amendment Center. Mark Lynch, how is this not considered foreign influence in our elections? AIPAC gears up for U.S. midterm election cycle with $95 million war chest. What? As 10th Amendment Center says, George Washington was right. Political parties, is his farewell address that he brings it up. Political parties open the door to foreign influence and corruption. Quote, is quoting Washington. It opens the door to foreign influence and corruption, which finds a facilitated access to the government itself through the channels of party passions. Thus, the policy of the will of one country are subjected to the policy and will of another. Here's Peter Schiff. The IRS illegally leaked tax return data of 400,000 Americans, including Trump, who's suing the U.S. government for $10 billion. Since this number bears no relationship to the actual financial loss, if Trump is entitled to $10 billion, so is everyone else. That's 4 quadrillion. Yeah, penny flea market. I mean, shouldn't we just have class action this and bankrupt the government to start a new country? Hey, I'm for that. Jerome Powell, the Space Marine. Why is this billionaire president suing U.S. taxpayers for something the freaking IRS did? The VA leaked mine. Should I sue for $10 billion as well? I would. Because that's not it. But where is it at? Here it is. Let me play this. Okay, you got that. All right, remember the lawsuit, Trump lawsuit. Here is Scott Bassett, former George Soros right-hand man, and guy that lives like Pete Buttigieg. I played this the other day.
I kind of touched on this earlier. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, you are serving as acting director of the IRS. So following up on Senator Kim's questioning, so you are fully aware that the president is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
We would agree. Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, it would come from
Process-wise. I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury,
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund,
the Treasury general account.
so taxpayers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of
Look, Trump is suing for exponentially more money than he was apparently exposed for, $10 billion, which is coming out of taxpayer money. No one seems to have a problem with that. Imagine Obama doing that. Let me play good old Carolyn Levette.
Trump, Dr. Oz, and National Design Studio Director Joe Gebbia will officially unveil Trump RX, a state-of-the-art website for American consumers to purchase low-cost prescription drugs. This historic announcement will save millions of Americans their hard-earned money, so make sure to...
It doesn't matter who's in. They'll say something, and then they'll say, whatever we're just doing will magically do X, Y, Z. It's like I told you this before, back when I was when I was a young teenager, I was bowling all the time. Dad ran bowling centers, and a buddy of mine, he was 18 at the time, I was 13. He wanted to design bowling balls, and so your marketing strategy was to design the bowling ball, write it up, put a little piece of paper on it, then put a little paragraph next to it, and every time this ball will dramatically go through the pocket and take it, do maximum, positive reinforcement type deal stuff. That's what just Carolyn and all those people before her, same thing. Whatever we say is going to do this. It's going to have, monkeys pooping ice cream. Monkeys are on my mind. Magical stuff. Anyways, at the Amendment Center, I'm trying to find a clause in the Constitution that authorizes the executive branch to do anything remotely close to this. Of course, it doesn't exist, and just more proof that the Constitution is trashed and hated no matter which team occupies the White House. Now, again, if Brandon would do it, people would lose their minds. If Obama were doing it, Obamacare, we don't want socialized medicine. Trump, we want socialized medicine. The hypocrisy on both sides, it's phenomenal. Let's see. I want this unity. I want everyone to break up. Why? Because one, this isn't a country, and two, don't worry. The idea of opens up for attack is hogwash. It's a bad fear campaign. Whatever they try, it's a propaganda thing. Well, because I've heard before, China's going to come in and get. No, they're not. No one's going to do that. It's kind of like I'm not going to do Rona. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to walk outside. No problem. Oh, you're going to die because no, you're not. It's just fear thing. We need breakup. We need to be. It's the reverse of the Ben Franklin unite or die, join or die thing. This is this band or die. We stay together, we die. We stand together, we go down to the Titanic. We break off in the lifeboats, we make it. Dr. Oz says Americans should retire later to help pay down the national debt. What's that line in the Declaration? When the time will come when the government needs to be changed, it is the right of the duty. It's the duty and the right of the people to alter or abolish. It's 38 trillion, about to be 39 trillion probably in 2 weeks. We're going to throw a party when it gets to 40 trillion and we're blowing people up across the world. Here's Trump secretary and Soros guy, Scott Bissett, said the Trump administration is removing all regulatory barriers against Bitcoin and crypto. And here's Catherine Austin Fitts. The price of Bitcoin crashed from 124,000 in October to 84,000 at the end of January, to a low of today of 62,000. Had a state invested in a Bitcoin strategic reserve, say $1 billion in Bitcoin last fall, it would have lost as much as 500 million at the low today. This should prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this kind of speculation is not appropriate for taxpayer reserves. Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and play this because people are losing their minds over this. Oh, wrong button.
Still looking forward now. Your goal during the election was to deport everyone who came here illegally under President Biden. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally, or just people who have come in illegally who have also committed additional crimes?
We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murderers from different countries. We have 11,888 murderers that Biden and his group led into our country. We've captured a lot of them. We've brought some of them back. A lot of them we don't want to bring back because we don't trust the country that they're not sent back again.
Yeah.
Despite how strong the borders are, they'll figure a way to try and get in, and we don't want to, and we'll incarcerate them. But 11,888 murders.
Yeah.
We are after those people. We're after the drug dealers.
Right.
We're after by the way, a big problem. They allowed to come into our country people from their mental institutions, people from insane asylums that are mentally ill and very dangerous. We're getting them out.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat dogs. Eat the cats. But I play that because many people are losing and going, oh, he's broken. He's been saying this for the whole time. Everyone's like, oh, he said he was going to get rid of everybody. He's been on record saying not to get everybody because he employs illegals in his own hotels and resorts. And he mentioned, not getting rid of people with the service industry sector. I don't know what people are not looking at because everyone's, like I said, I know he's breaking a promise. I don't remember him saying he's going to get rid of every one of them. I mean, I got 15 videos probably that he talks about saying that it's just going to get rid of the illegal ones. I got no idea. But Instagram quit. Oh yeah, looks like Instagram got hung up. Is it playing on you guys' level? Is the computer about to crash? Do I look like it's doing like a hey type deal thing? If not, I'll keep going. Dow surges 1,200 points for first close above 50,000 in sharp rebound from tech rout live updates. And this does absolutely nothing for a regular Joe. If you play in the market, it does something for you. If you don't play the market, it does absolutely nothing for you. If you live a regular life, it does nothing for you. Racist depiction of former president. I'm hoping you're laughing about that, right? Yeah, that was a joke, right? As a blatant racist depiction of a former president, as a Catholic, you must do better. I'm mocking a video that came out today. Now, if I post a photo and you think it's racist, maybe you have the racist problem on there. I posted it because it's funny. I think it's hysterical because if you watch the whole thing, it has nothing to do with racism. Now, that's the thing. Everyone has to be like, they have to pull out the whole almighty thing, like virtual signaling and clutching their pearls. Oh, look, it's racist. And let's talk about how non-racist I am by pointing out that a cartoon was racist. I mean, it had Hillary Clinton as a pog. He had all these other characters on there. I thought it was hilarious. But I have a sick sense of humor. I didn't see any racism in it. I didn't think about it at all. Racist things are racist. How is that confusing? Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's funny. Here's Last America Vagabond retweeting Massey. A judge said Trump can't withhold daycare funds from states where his administration believes fraud is occurring. So I offered this amendment to the omnibus, which contains a daycare funding program funding to ambiguously give Trump the power to throttle those funds. It was blocked. As Ryan Christian says, so all this hype about Somali daycare fraud only for the Republicans to largely allow this to continue. The government is not on your side. It actively plays us against ourselves, so nothing changes. Two-party illusion. Yep. It's been saying that. How many times we've saying that? It's one side. People are losing. Oh, the Somali guy. The guy that did it was already biased. He was already paid for by the GOP there. It was already a played op. And now government's already fine with it. Here's a Florida woman who lives paycheck to paycheck was fined over $100,000 for parking on her own grass. A judge ruled that wasn't excessive. The Florida Supreme Court won't hear her case. She's not even the first to thread. Here's Sandy Martinez. She lives in Latana, Florida, with her sister and 2 adult children. Pressed for parking space, the outer wheels of the car made slight contact with Martinez's yard. So the government fined her $250 per day. And it only gets worse. After the government notified Martinez of the code violation, she got into compliance and called for an inspector to come verify. No one ever came. They kept charging her $250 every day for 407 days. Martinez didn't realize the government was still fining her for having parked on her own grass until the next year when she tried refinancing her home. $101,000 plus interest. The kicker, this was not only that's not the only ruinous fine the city is demanding. A storm drained or damaged her fence, which she couldn't afford to fix right away. Insurance moved slowly, so the city charged her $47,000, more than her yearly income. For cracks in her driveway, another $16,000. What in the world? I've heard about stuff like this, but yeah, like the grass guy. I've heard not this guy, but another guy. Dundon, Florida, fined him $30,000 when he couldn't pay it, threatening to seize his home. This was after his mom died. He left town to handle affairs. His grass grew over 10 inches. I was thinking this was like HOA stuff, but apparently there's a couple of cities that have, and this goes into think locally, act locally. If your city is that nutty, you should be involved in that city and fix the city up. No, most of us care more about trying to fix DC up, and that nothing goes, and literally nothing comes apart. When that's the whole problem. Everyone's hyper focused on DC, which you're never going to fix. It's totally they call it Leviathan for a reason. You're not going to fix it. You're not going to do anything to it. Everyone thinks, oh, Trump's going to go after the deep state. He is the deep state. But your local government that's right there doing stuff like this, if you can't get involved in your local government, hey, it can't help you if you're not going to fix your own backyard. Yeah, it's evil, it's stupid, it's bad. Get involved in your local government. Get in and fix it. Just like with your state and your school board, your local school board. Hey, I hate my school stinks. The school board is terrible. Get involved in the school. Run and take over the school board. Fix the students. Convert. If we had a bunch of Catholics getting into school boards, you think the school systems would be a lot better? Imagine if we could start getting into cities, counties, state houses, legislators, school boards. You want to fix everyone? I want to fix the country. What are you doing about it? I'm just tweeting. Get involved, run, sign up. Cost you maybe $30 to run for a school district. Yeah, it's going to be time and effort. Fire away. Since I got called a racist a minute ago, let's get into the racist part of the program. Republican Tim Scott slams once a future king President DJT's video depicting Obamas as apes. Most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. Good. Tim, come on. I'm surprised on that too, because Tim needs Trump to win the I think isn't he run for governor? While Democrats have condemned Trump's Truth Social post of a video featuring a racist AI depiction of Barack and Michelle as apes, nothing else is in the video, apparently. Nothing else besides those two. the president's strident defenders also called him out. Tim Scott, who is cheering for the GOP Senate campaign efforts this year, wrote on X, praying it was fake because it was the most racist thing I've ever seen out of the White House. The president should remove it. Really? Again, what are you going to call the one when it goes it's like the fat pig? You're going to go, are we fat shaming next? Or I couldn't believe you put Hillary as a hog. Come on. I thought we loved the Clintons. I'll play. A wing, a whap, a wing, a whap. Where's the problem? Anybody want to go? Oh, I can't believe they went after Hillary like that. Maybe that way, if someone says, "Oh, that's racist," I know, like that's sexist that they went after Hillary like that. Oh, look, I guess Bubbles is okay being a donkey. The elephant. I dang near lost it when I saw him as an elephant. Man, Tommy is a hyena. And come on, no one's laughing over Joe Brandon. the rat hindy baboon. I didn't even know what Kamala was until I saw I didn't see the turtle until just now, but and then he grabs a banana. Hey, where's the? Now imagine if he had Obama doing that all off with his head. I didn't even notice the frog underneath them. Where's this one? I mean, anybody upset? Why does he get a pass for her? Again, we can't laugh. Is that Whoopi? Yeah, Whoopi is a hippo. You talk about a great promotion for was it Zarius X to be able to pull that off. But hey, if are we going to call one thing racist, what's about the rest? Give me all right. I expect you to call me sexist for about the Hillary thing. What else? The elephant. Mandemi is a hyena. I thought it was hysterical. But I'm not one that goes around looking for things to go, clutch my pearls over. I don't know. I thought it was funny. White House offers shameful Lion King excuse after Trump posts videos of Obamas and monkeys. Again, that's all they can the only thing about just going after that. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public. You know what? I'm critical of the vet. Good on her for this. This is from an internet meme depicting Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from the Lion King. Please stop with fake outrage and report on something that actually matters to the American public. Anger in White House over now deleted Obama's post. Hey, whenever we can distract ourselves from bombing Iran and I don't know, the Epstein files, it's messing a lot with the sound, huh? Just grab. All right, give me 2 minutes. I'm going to shut the computer off and come back. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, we good? Does that sound a little bit better? It's missing a lot without the sound. Well, yeah, it's missing a lot. If I played the song, I would have got kicked off of the internet for it. So that's why I didn't play the sound, and I was just turned it up a little bit. We'll kind of, just let it play. Don't buy into the fake outrage narrative. Yes. No, sorry, fellas, it's not fake outrage. It's real racism. No, it's fake racism. There's just no reason to be upset about that at all. Pastors for Trump member personally tells president to fire staffer over the Obama video. Matt Burns, a member of the Pastors for Trump, said he personally demanded a once and future king that's committing genocide, killing people overseas, bombing Somalia 25 times in January, destroying, targeting boats in the Caribbean, and all. But no, we got a video. That guy's got to have his head on off with his heads. The Queen posting a racist video of Barack and Michelle Obama. Hey, where's this pastor at during all the other stuff, all the other atrocities going on? Oh, ethnic cleansing video. Let's go after the video. Epstein video. Experts say astronauts should be banned from making space babies. Okie dokie. Again, we don't call this clown planet for nothing. Humanity's wildest sci-fi fantasy, babies born among the stars, has hit a harsh dose of reality. A new report says we're miles off making space babies safely, warning that radiation, microgravity, and even toxic lunar dust could scramble fertility, derail pregnancies, and endanger future offspring. Now, I know everyone in here is going, I was worried about that, because we were wife and I, we were talking about making a trip up to Mars next week, and we just wanted to make sure everything was going to go right. Who was losing sleep over that one? The verdict, published by Reproductive Biomedicine Online, was led by a clinical embryologist, Giles Palmer, of the International IVF Initiative, who had nothing else better to do than to talk about nurseries on the moon. Okay, they're not even near ready for people to hang out on the moon longer than, a couple hours. We're talking about nurseries. Okay. Breaking FBI official admits Cash Cross-Eye Patel will not arrest any Minnesota daycare criminals. He goes, I hear Cash Patel's a diva. Is that true? Anyways, it was another thing he said. Do you think they're going to arrest the people like they're dealing with the daycare staff? He says, I think by the time that case is done, even being like, look at it and ready to go to court, Trump won't even be in office anymore. Like they will most likely be thrown out very quickly. Fraud cases like that, like money stuff, literally years of time. So again, it's really just anything to get people upset, and nothing is going to happen. Here's Reverend Jordan Wales. Breaking. Virginia Democrats just jumped a bombshell redistricting plan that's straight up annihilating the GOP. They're wiping out 4 Republican seats, handing Dems a massive 10-1 edge in Congress. Total power grab. But red states sitting on their hands preaching morality while we get steamrolled. No retaliation from Indiana, Kansas, blah, blah, blah. And you know what the first thing I thought of when I saw that? That looks like 2 states right there, huh? You could have this state over here, and you see that red part? This can go over this side. We'd be like West by God, Virginia. West Virginia got broken apart by Lincoln. Why not just make another state out of that? It's already too big. Why would anybody in the red zone want to live with the people over here in the dark blue zone? We'll break off. You take that half. I'll take this half. We're good. By the way, did you know Maryland was close to joining the Confederacy? And there was rumors of, I was just hearing about that if that would have happened, D.C. would have been a Confederacy capital. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying. If I click it the wrong way, it deletes the link. Here's Virginia. Do I have everything right? Yeah. Here's Virginia's House bill passed, HB 217, one of the most extreme gun control bills in the state's history. The bill bans the sale and transfer of commonly owned firearms and standard capacity magazines using vague and overreaching definitions to target responsible citizens. And you know what the response should be? As Virginia, this is federalism right here. Virginia wants to do something dumb. That's on Virginia. If the people of Virginia can't get off their keisters to run in office for Virginia and get people that aren't run against people that should be in there. Like when I was in Colorado, they were all complaining about the couple of trannies that got in and the gay guy that's the governor. All right, well, find somebody to run against these guys. No one ever did. They cared about Trump the whole time. Their backyard was going to, you know what, in a handbasket, but they cared about DC. Again, same idea here. People in Virginia, get involved. If you don't like this bill, get involved and change it and make sure it doesn't pass, or do whatever you can. But again, the NRA is a centralist organization. They accept the incorporation doctrine big time. This is not incorporation. Do not fall for incorporation. The only federalism, no matter how bad you like it or how good it does. But again, you got to work on your backyard. So when you see this, all these have to pretty much reset. Probably what happened with the computer was going slow is because I had so many links open, like literally open. You see those little these are clear on the left, on that side, they're all clear. And on this side, they're kind of wonky. They're like that. All the other ones are like that too. I have nothing's open, but they're up. So it's a way for the computer to have to, I guess, go into hyperdrive. Here's the Atlantic. How to actually reform ICE. Accountability, transparency, and trust must be centerpieces of new ICE. This is a decent sized article. It's on Archive. It's had something highlighted. Maybe I didn't. Direct enforcement mechanisms through the courts are to come to a little practical use indeed. Chief Justice Patrick Schultz of the Federal District Court of Minnesota said ICE has likely violated more court orders in January 2026 than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence. On more than 90 occasions, ICE has ignored the courts. That must change. Court orders are likely to be of greater impact under new ICE because new leadership would demand the adherence of the agents. But even then, I'm laughing about the new ICE. Instead, new ICE. Is that like new Coke, new Pepsi, new ICE? Avoid Bud Ice. Remember the Penguins? Doobie-doo. See, another archive one. Here it is. ICE 101, how Trump changed ICE and CBP into fascist secret police. ICE and CBP are fatally flawed products of the post 9/11 war on terror. Amen. Now Trump has weaponized those very flaws to occupy America. Again, it came from the Patriot Act. Who did that whole 9/11? Oh, it was the federal government. And then they came up with a solution, and this is part of that solution, and we're supposed to applaud the solution. Vote harder 2028. Where we at here? Let's see. The basics, understanding immigration organized chart. There are two traditionally very different halves of ICE. What are known as the enforcement and removal operations, aka deportation officers, who are among the least trained and educated law enforcement in the U.S. government. You should know that because of their recruitments this past summer and fall when they were trying to get anybody they wanted to for $50,000 salary or $80,000 and make sure that they got student loan forgiveness. But remember, student loan forgiveness is bad until we do it. Think nuclear non-proliferation activities, smuggling, child pornography cases, and other very serious and legitimate crimes. The Homeland Security investigators are specialized and highly trained special agents akin to the FBI or Secret Service. Sorry, I skipped that part. Context matters. HSI, Homeland Security investigators, does some great work, and as a nation, we should be glad they're on the watch. The two halves of ICE have been in deep tension since the agency's creation 2 decades ago. should have never been created, in my opinion. To understand the fatal flaws of ICE and CBP as organizations, you have to go back to their founding. Lie to begin with. The below has some government outfit soup to it, but it's important context to understanding who and what Americans now face on their streets and their communities. On September 11, 2001, immigration was a purview of Immigration and Naturalization Services, INS, INS Division 6, which was composed of 5 district divisions: special agents, deportation and detention, inspectors, educators, aka benefits, and the Border Patrol. Similarly, the U.S. Customs Service dealt with both legal trade and travel inspectors, as well as smuggling investigations, special agents. INS was a long troubled and understaffed agency, but the nail in its coffin came 6 months after September 11th, when the agency notified in Florida Flight School that 2 of the 9/11 quote-unquote hijackers had been approved as students for flight training. They couldn't fly a Cessna plane, but barely could fly a 747 and do impossible moves, according to all the 9/11 for Truth pilot groups. I don't know if you heard about those guys. They're out there saying it's all horse walks because none of them can pull it off unless they take off the safety parts in the flight simulators. See, other parts of the CBP was then turbocharged by a post 9/11 Bush era hiring surge that went disastrously. Even by the early 2010s, there were warning signs that the Border Patrol especially was out of control as an agency, shooting and killing people in sketchy circumstances. As I wrote way back in 2014, quote, an internal report in 2013 that the agency tried to keep secret, accused its agents of shooting the weapons not out of fear for their lives, but instead out of frustration. ICE was low profile for the next 20 or so years. The basic problem, like AKA 1801s versus 1811s. Is U.S. government job codes. So-called GS 1801s are federal government street cops, the bottom ranks of law enforcement classified. That was a fly right there. Got him, baby. Classified as a federal, like Mr. Miyagi with the chopsticks. Got it. Nah, not going to do it again ever in my life, but got that one. The positions came with less training and lower education requirements, usually only a high school degree or equivalent, as well as more limited authority. All of CBP, including both the Border Patrol and Office of Field Operation, are 1801s, as are all ICE ERO deportation officers. They are authorized to enforce immigration laws and notably only authorized to make arrests for federal crimes, quote, it's if the offense is committed in the officer's presence or if the officer has reasonable grounds to believe that the person to be arrested has committed or is committing such a felony. Then there are GS 1811 positions known as Special Agent Criminal Investigator. These are the government detectives. Think the FBI, Secret Service, U.S. Marshals, and notably HSI agents. These positions usually require more work experience and a college degree. Most FBI agents, in fact, have advanced degrees, either law degrees or accounting degrees, and come from far more training, months, not weeks, and more broad investigative authority. 1811s are the government's detectives. The difference between 1801s and 1811s may seem minor, but it's incredibly important in federal law enforcement powers. And it matters, particularly in understanding why CBP and ICE are as rogue and poorly trained as they are. For one thing, since CBP was entirely set up as 1801s, that inadvertently meant that it had no authority or power to investigate wrongdoing by its own agents and workforce. To make that point more sharply, in the post 9/11 reorganization, we created the nation's largest federal law enforcement agency and didn't give it the power to have an internal affairs capacity that one would expect at even a mid-sized local police department. As I wrote in 2014, there were 2,170 reported incidents of arrests for acts of misconduct, such as domestic violence or driving under the influence from 2005 through 2012. That's nearly one CBP officer or agent arrested for misconduct every single day for 7 years. By 2018, that pace was only slowed to one agent or officer arrested every 36 hours. And this is an ongoing problem. Just last month here in my hometown, we had a former Border Patrol agent sentenced to having more than 350 images of child sex abuse material on his phone while serving as an agent. ICE has its own problems. Just 3 weeks ago, a detention officer at an ICE facility in Louisiana pleaded guilty to raping a Nicaraguan detainee for months. And an off-duty ICE officer who shot and killed a man in LA on New Year's Eve had been accused of allegedly whipping his sons with a belt and making racist and homophobic remarks in the past. Overall, CBP's arrest and misconduct rate is 5 times higher than the other federal law enforcement agencies. And in fact, if you look over the last decade, the arrest rate of CBP officers and Border Patrol agents, 0.5%, have been higher than the arrest rate of undocumented immigrants in the United States, 0.4%. To frame that in a different way, in rough terms, the workforce of CBP officers and Border Patrol agents commit crimes at an equal or even greater rate per capita than the population of undocumented workers. My wife just texted me a question. Undocumented immigrants do in the United States. And we are now in the process of repeating all the same mistakes we made with the CBP hiring surge, with ICE's new hiring surge, which is going disastrously so far. Which brings me to the next major point. If ICE and CBP seem completely unprepared and untrained, there's a reason. They're not prepared or trained for it. Here's the tactic change, the mindset and training problem. ICE and CBP are not some elite SEAL Team 6 of immigration. Far from it. Even before ICE cut its training schedule to just 47 days last year, at a length, remember, absurdly close to honor Donald Trump as the 47th. They cut it to 47, honor Trump as 47. ICE's 1801 deportation officers were among the least educated and least trained federal law enforcement in the entire country. These federal agents and law enforcement joke at the quality of the average ICE officer is so low that they are hired by the pound from the pound. CBP is better trained, but only marginally. Most 1801 positions only require high school graduates, not a college degree like a traditional 1811 job with the FBI or Secret Service. Many recruits from both agencies come from military, but generally after only short careers, they don't go very far. Chad Loder wrote, ICE and Border Patrol are easy jobs for people who did their flower in the door military service, usually guys with low ambition and drive who didn't advance, and with an MOS that doesn't prepare them well for civilian jobs. There's a large percentage of ICE and Border Patrol recruits with prior military and law enforcement experience who already fit the ICE versus them culture of these agencies. And then comes the mindset problem. If you're an average police officer in the United States, and to be clear, the ordinary local and state police in the United States have plenty on their own problems and biases. But for the most part, you spend most of your day interacting with non-criminals. A lot of cops go through entire days and shifts without making an arrest or encountering a criminal. But when you talk to Border Patrol agents, they stress how their career conditions them to almost the exact inverse. They're patrolling the border. Everyone they encounter crossing the border is at least committing the crime of illegal entry. They're used to treating everyone they encounter at work as a criminal. Similarly, the immigration border police, and there's a different set of civil rights and civil liberties they apply to regular police and federal law enforcement. They're not used to respecting the legal procedures that, say, an FBI, Secret Service, or even HSI have to do in their day-to-day work. Okay, so overall, federal agents and especially prison guards aren't meant to be street cops. Border Patrol and ICE are just not trained, prepared, or accustomed to patrolling regular America and rolling through neighborhoods, school grounds, parking lots. They're not regular police, and they don't know how to behave in this moment. They don't have the muscle memory or de-escalation skills of dealing with angry citizens or innocent people. It's clear that many of them lack real-world policing skills. They deploy tear gas or pepper spray as the first line of defense rather than the last resort, which is how normally police agencies use it. In most police agencies, using pepper spray counts as use of force and comes with paperwork and supervisory review. ICE and CBP are using chemical agents almost recreationally and prophylactically in moments where there's no physical harm or risk to them, moments where their violence is the only violence at the scene. There's a reason that in this city after city, in federal judges have issued court order limiting the use of pepper spray and chemical agents and telling them to respect peaceful protesters. In fact, I'm struck watching a video about how bad the street tactics of them they are. Gangs of agents surround people or vehicles, shouting competing and contradictory commands. How, at a moment of great stress, is anybody supposed to know who to follow? There's no teamwork or practice movements. There's no one in command directing a fine ballet of police work. They resort to force faster than trained police would, use deadly force more recklessly in situations where it's not warranted, and as the result of good, too often turn to firearms when they get frustrated and not because there's any risk. Everything they do is like some combination of pee-wee wrestling and pee-wee run to the ball soccer game. If you know what I'm talking about, it's kind of funny. This is a solid article. Anyway, you want to read it all, it's all in the show notes, but that's a pretty solid article on that. Very hard to say he was wrong. Jewish Voice for Peace revealed ADL's U.S.-Israel police exchanges U.S.-Israel police exchanges militarized the police. Who wrote this article? The ADL's cover blown. ADL's cover is blown once and for all. There's nothing Jewish about fighting against Palestinian freedom or militarizing the police. Here's the Real News Network. Deadly exchange. U.S. sends hundreds of law enforcement to Israel to learn worst practices from the IDF. Through police exchange program, local and federal officers travel to Israel for training that advocates say further militarizes the police and exacerbates harm to marginalized communities. And you know this because they're using the same tools that the IDF is using, the ICE guys are using on us. Remember the video with the meta glasses, for example? ICE and Israeli military are two sides of the same coin. We must resist both. Opposing ICE in the U.S. while backing genocide in Gaza is senseless. Those struggles are intertwined because again, I've mentioned they're using the same tactics over there. They're using the same tools. Do I have to play the video? Does anybody believe me on that? Oh, we've already been at an hour. On Book, AI bots create religions, deal digital drugs, but are some really humans in disguise? How do you deal drugs online? I guess they have to make it. AI has made their own society and fast. Within days of launch, and Book's AI agents form religions, economies, governments, and subcultures without human direction. Self-replicating autonomous agents raise concerns about data theft, bot viruses, and loss of human oversight. Bots tried to hide from humans. Some AI agents use encryption and obfuscation after realizing people were watching it. Okay. Never heard of Book. All right, what's next here? Oh, here's this. This girl was born in Minnesota. She says she didn't even recognize it anymore. And she passes women wearing burqas. Someone tells her to stop filming. Well, let me play her so you can hear.
I am in Minnesota. Minnesota does not even look like Minnesota anymore. I was born here and it's like everything's changed. Look at this, guys. Streets, the stores, the people, it all feels like somewhere else. There's a whole new group of people now and I don't even.
By the way, that's AI. If you don't know, that is a fake person. It's not a real person. AI generated video. The girl's coat is present in cold, snowy shots, but vanishes in warm, snow-filled shots. January in Minnesota is consistently cold, snowy. Temps well below freezing. Ongoing snow covers. This TikTok account has also uploaded multiple AI generated videos. Yeah. Different color. Here's the code. Because if you type in, it usually goes for a couple seconds and you have to do something else. All right, here's the War Pigs edition. General singing in their masses, just like witches and black masses. Breaking. China urges citizens to get out of Iran. The Iran riots were a false flag. U.S. Treasury Secretary just revealed how the U.S. engineered protests in Iran. I'll play it for you. There's, again, Soros guy. Pete Buttigieg, like MAGA's Pete Buttigieg.
And what we have done is created a dollar shortage in the country. At a speech at the Economic Club of New York in March, I outlined the strategy. It came to a swift and I would say grand culmination in December when one of the largest banks in Iran went under. There was a run of the bank. The central bank had to print money. The Iranian currency went into free fall, inflation exploded, and hence we have seen the Iranian people out on the street. We will continue monitoring all the partners, all the Iranian partners. The good news, Senator, is that we have seen, and we can see it with our fencing, the Treasury, and what we have done.
So they did it. We got involved in that. Here's Marco Rubio lays out the 4 U.S. demands for Iran. In nuclear program, limit range of ballistic missiles, in support for proxies like Hezbollah, protect the rights of Iranians. So let's go with Scott Horton says, Iran has an unalienable right to a civilian nuclear program as members of the NPD. Correct. You may not like that, but they do have that right. And who is the United States to say that they can't? U.S. has no authority to insist on limits to their missiles ranges, no pretend UNSC resolution or anything, none that can reach America. Hezbollah is Israel's problem, not the United States. They kill Al-Qaeda and ISIS, our actual enemies. Protecting Iranian people is the weakest hoax of an excuse for war since Obama attacked and destroyed Libya. Colin Powell's cartoons of Saddam's bioweapons lab trucks would be ashamed of your name. Hey, remember, didn't they say that they blew up the entire? They took it back on that. This is telling too. Yeah, but yeah, remember Trump said that they obliterated the nuclear program.
Be worried right now.
I would say he should be very worried. Yeah, he should be. As you know, they're negotiating with us.
I know they are, but the protesters have said, where are the Americans? You promised them we would have their back. Do we still have their back?
We've had their back. And look, that say he should be very worried.
Listen to what he says after we had their back.
Yeah, he should be. As you know, they're negotiating with us.
I know they are, but the protesters have said, where are the Americans? You promised them we would have their back. Do we still have their back?
We've had their back. And look, that country's a mess right now because of us. We went in,
that country's a mess because of us.
Wiped out their nuclear.
So that's the question. If we wiped them out.
We wiped out their nuclear. Oh, wait, we didn't.
Peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
If I didn't take out their nuclear, think of it. If we didn't take out that nuclear, we wouldn't have peace in the Middle East because
Wait a second. Aren't they saying they have to stop their nuclear? They have their nuclear. They took out the nuclear, but they have the nuclear.
Arab countries could have never done that. They were very, very afraid of Iran.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of Iran anymore. We wiped out those beautiful B-2 bombers. One's right over there. Those beautiful little model. Those beautiful B-2 bombers went in and they hit their target, every single bomb, and obliterated it. And because of that, they were going to have a nuclear weapon within 1 month.
Yeah.
Within 1 month, they were going to have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
That was a big threat. They're not going to have it anymore.
But if we obliterate it, what's the deal about? I mean, if there's no more, are they trying to restart the nuclear program?
Well, I heard that they are, and if they do, and I let them know, if they do, we're going to send them right back and do their job again.
So your understanding is they tried to restart it, and that's why you're threatening force?
They tried to go back to the site. They weren't even able to get near it. There was total obliteration. But they were thinking about starting a new site in a different part of the country. We found out about it. I said, you do that, we're going to do very bad things to you.
See if anybody has anything on there going. Bluster's chief. Yeah. Trump, look at the economy. Please tell us how Iran's mismanagement. All right, here's Secretary Rubio on the Iranian regime cannot provide the people of Iran for quality of life they deserve. They're spending all their resources of what is a rich country, sponsoring terrorism, proxy groups around the world, exporting, as they call it, their revolution. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had a more honest answer to the same question this month. President Trump ordered Treasury to put maximum pressure on Iran, and it worked because in December their economy collapsed. They were not able to get imports. And this is why the people took to the street. So this is economic statecraft. No shots fired, and things are moving in a positive way here. We played that clip long ago. Here's a big announcement. As Iran approaches 2 weeks of complete communications blackout, it doesn't have to remain this way. I am thrilled to announce that I'm part of a historic, highly confidential, it's on Twitter, alliance of Israeli tech veterans, 8,200 alumni, and Iranian underground operatives. Together, we are building a digital and financial infrastructure for the G7 nation before the regime falls, starting with 2 stealth ventures that simultaneously never severs the dictatorship's 2 main chokeholds, connectivity and capital. We want you to be involved. If you're an angel investor who wants to take part in this opportunity, I think these guys are trying to make a 15-minute city in Iran too. Here's Dave DeCamp of antiwar.com. Ahead of U.S.-Iran talks, Bibi tells cabinet conditions could lead to regime change in Tehran. This was yesterday. Let me see what else he has on antiwar.com. Then Yahoo's conditions for Iran regime change. Source, U.S. drops demand for Iran talks to cover ballistic program. Iran FM says latest round of talks a good start. Bessent, U.S. sanctions crushed Iran's economy and sparked protests. Trump says no new START treaty expansion. Arms control experts issue warning as new START expires. Israeli strikes Lebanon, highest since 2024. Global Samad Flotilla announces new Gaza mission. Saudi strike kills 13 civilians in January. Trump deal on Chicago's best Starmer could make. Cuba willing to talk to the U.S. but not under pressure. And John Mersheimer fights to purge his AI deepfakes. This was apparently a fake email, but this was part of it. This was going around. We need to discuss World War III. The investors want to know if we're still planning for February 8th, 2026, which is Sunday. So a bunch of us were joking, saying, is this before or after kickoff of the Super Bowl? When's World War III? When can we order pizza before or after? Or is it popcorn? When does World War III start? Can we at least wait till after the Super Bowl's over, halftime? Do it during halftime, but when Bad Bunny's on or something like that. The reason why it's kind of a laughable one is because if this was even in there, which could be anything, there's a bunch of fake stuff and made up stuff in it, just enough that Trump was out there saying, "Oh, we don't care about this. If we move on," just so they could dismiss everything as fake news and throw out the baby with the bathwater. There's there's good stuff in it, and there's probably some fake stuff in it. 3 million pages, probably a lot, and they're getting rid of a lot of stuff. Here's RT. U.S. flexes naval power in Middle East after Iran nuclear talks. U.S. slaps sanctions on Iran hours after nuclear talks. That was 11 hours ago. Here's AG Pam Bondi. Today, I'm proud to announce that the FBI has arrested one of the key participants behind the Benghazi attack. Holy cow, they're going after distraction, people. Epstein just came out. I ran over here. Hey, we're going back to Benghazi. We finally got, they didn't get Clinton. This was great. I'm pretty sure you missed one. Members of Congress will be able to view unredacted Epstein files next week. Let's stop the games. Hillary Clinton calls for testimony in Epstein probe to be public. Clinton challenged Chairman James Comer to allow the country to watch their testimony live. Bring it on, baby. DOJ admitted communication from Bondi Patel in Epstein files, watchdog says. New Wall Street Apes. New Jeffrey Epstein documents have emails consistently use one very famous word, the word pizza. The emails they write were referring to pizza. Don't make any sense if they were talking about the food. As he says, Pizzagate was 100% real. Where are the arrests? There's a link on that coming up here. I think this Tucker's next. Yep, here's Tucker. Tucker Carlson. It looks like Pizzagate was basically real. Ian Carroll explains. Monologue. What is Pizzagate? The elite's demonic ritualistic child abuse. The disgusting government cover-up of Epstein atrocities. Don't forget the Franklin cover-up, too. The essential questions we need to answer. Epstein's involvement in global crisis and global events. Epstein's long history of money laundering. Will the corruption continue? Where to find the Epstein documents and Ian Carroll sources? Epstein's fixation on genetics. Yeah, I remember bringing that up too. Bill Gates is a good friend. They were all part of that stuff. Representative Nancy Mace is calling for Bill Gates, speaking of Gates, to testify under oath on his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein in front of the Oversight Committee. Good luck. I expect, again, nobody to go to jail. Here's Megatron. Epstein says whoops after finding out RFKJ's wife was found dead hanging. Mary Kennedy found dead in her backyard. Here's the reply. Whoops. Here's 50 different Steve Tisch to Epstein emails. Hey, Jeffy, where are the trafficked girls? Hey, Jeff, where's the Ukrainian trafficked girls? Yo, Epstein, where's the trafficked girl present? Where's my present? Is it in New York City? New York City. Yeah, is it in New York City yet? Kash Patel and DOJ and White House spokesperson. There's no client list. I'll play it for you. Let me play it. Here's Levine playing just what's going on here.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want
this? Remember, this is back in July.
Anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable. And I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to
Do you believe that?
Truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the president's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is
we got an article on exactly that next.
Not something that's appropriate for
not next, but forward
public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News. Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and law.
Okay, let's stop her. It's just done. Here is unacceptable. Bondi, April 28, 2025. There's tens of thousands of videos, and it's all with little kids. That was 10 months ago. No mass arrests, no major persecutions, no public accounting. If this administration had evidence of crimes at that scale, people should already be in court. So why aren't they? Harvey Levin gives explosive update on purported Nancy Guthrie ransom note on Hannity. I had a friend of mine text me. He says, "Why are they talking about this Guthrie lady? She's the mother of somebody, Savannah Guthrie's, who's I guess on NBC or something like that. Anyway, she's doing the Olympics, I think it is. And yeah, NBC Today's anchor Savannah Guthrie. And I told him back, they're not going to talk about Epstein on Fox. They have to have something else. They ain't talking about that. You see any of his cheerleaders doing that? Not at all. That's quote another distraction. Bethany Christian Services, a Christian adoption firm with accusations of manipulation, negligence, and trafficking. This is back in 2024. Epstein files rife with uncensored nudes and victims' names, despite redaction efforts. Because remember, the whole time they were saying it's going to take us all this time because we got to redact all the names, images, all that stuff to help keep the victims out. What did they do? They threw all the victims out. Nude photos, the names and faces of sexual abuse victims, bank accounts, and social security numbers were in full view. In a sense, if you downloaded the files, you pretty much downloaded child porn. They pretty much got you to download that. I don't know if they meant for that to happen and then come after other people later. All of these things appear to be the amount of documents released Friday by the U.S. Justice Department and part of the effort to comply with the law requiring it to open its investigative files on Epstein. That law was intended to preserve important privacy protections for victims. Their names were supposed to have been blocked out in the documents. Their faces and bodies were supposed to be obscured in photos. Mistakes, though, have been rampant. A review by the AP and other news organizations have found countless examples of sloppy, inconsistent, or non-existent redactions that have revealed sensitive private information. A photo of one girl who was underage when she was hired to give sexualized messages to Epstein in Florida appeared in a chart to its alleged victims. Police reports with the names of several of his victims, including some who have never stepped forward to identify themselves publicly, were released with no redactions at all. Despite the Justice Department's efforts to fix the oversights, a selfie taken by a nude female in the bathroom and another by a topless female remain on the site. Their ages unknown, but their faces in full view as of Wednesday evening. Some accusers and their lawyers called this week to the Justice Department to take down the site and appoint an independent monitor to prevent further errors. A judge scheduled a hearing on Wednesday in New York on the matter, then canceled it after one of the lawyers for the victim cited progress in resolving the issues. But that lawyer, Brittany Henderson, said they were still weighing all potential avenues of recourse to address the permanent and irreparable harm caused by some women. The failure here is not merely technical, she said in a statement Wednesday. It is a failure to safeguard human beings who are promised protection by our government. Until every document is properly redacted, that failure is going. Anna Farmer, who said that when she was 16 when she was assaulted by Epstein and his confidant Maxwell, said that she'll be out of prison soon, said that while her name was previously been public, other details she'd rather keep private, including the date of her birth and phone number, were wrongly revealed in documents. At quote, on this point, I feel feeling really most angry at the way this has unfolded, she told NBC News. The fact that it's been done in such a beyond careless way where people have been endangered because of it is really horrifying. Justice Department has blamed technical human errors on the programs and on the problems and said it would be taking down many problematic materials and is working to republish properly redacted versions. Good luck. The task of reviewing and blacking out millions and millions of pages and records took place in a compressed time frame. Whatever excuse. Once the future king, President DJT, signed the law requiring the closure of the documents on November 19th, that law gave the Justice Department more than 30 days to release the files. What were you doing before that? It missed that deadline in part because it said it needed more time to comply with privacy protections. Another excuse. AP reporters analyzed documents have so far found multiple examples of names and personal information of potential victims revealed. They have also found cases of overzealous redactions. And one clipping included a file the Justice Department apparently blacked out the name Joseph from a photo capturing the nativity scene at a California church, a nativity scene depicting Jesus, Mary, and redacted. In an email released in the files, a dog's name appeared to have been redacted. I spent an hour walking, redacted, and then another hour bathing her, blow drying her, and brushing her. I hope she smells better. The Justice Department has said staff tasked with preparing the files for release were instructed to limit redactions only to the information related to victims and their families. You know, Jesus, Mary, and redacted. Justice Department has said it intended to black out a portion of the photos showing nudity and any photos of women that could potentially show a victim. In some photos reviewed by the AP, those redactions did obscure women's faces, but left plenty of the bare skin exposed in a way that would likely embarrass the women anyway. Photos showed identifiable women trying on outfits in clothing stores, dressing rooms, lounging in bathing suits. And one said more than 100 images of young women were nearly all blacked out, save for the very last one, which revealed her entire face. Again, these guys can't deliver the mail right. You think they were going to get this right? Speaking of which, I just started getting the mail. It's been 2 weeks, and I finally started getting the mail. 2 snowstorms shut the mail down. I don't know if UPS took the weeks off, but they stopped delivering for 2 weeks here. At least to me. Here's a reporter. Why is Trump bothered that they are investigating Bill Clinton? Levette, they share a good relationship. As 10th Amendment said, lock her up was a lie in the first place to manipulate you. And now you get the further proof. I said that right after the first election because, and I know people who did not know this. I'm still seeing people go, I can't believe that's true. No way. If you look it up, you can still look it up. The presidential breakfast, inauguration breakfast. He goes, I want to thank my good friends, Bill and Hillary Clinton over there. And they cut over there and they're sitting there eating the breakfast at the inauguration breakfast. And then the guys are just gigantic. No way that happened. Here's the video. Still there. Lock her up was a lie to begin. Everyone loved it. Lock her up, lock her up. Yeah, nothing's been locked up. Here's Ryan Razibini. Justin, 541 files related to Trump deleted. The DOJ continues to delete files containing the word Trump. Originally, there were 5,361 files. Today, there's 4,820. And as of this posting, files coming up for the search, including Trump, are now down to 4816 from the original 5361. Check for yourself. Justice.gov/Epstein. So what is the Trump administration deleting? Uber held liable, ordered to pay $8.5 million in driver rape suit. I don't know how that happened. Uber was ordered to pay $8.5, was held liable in an Arizona lawsuit that accused a driver. Oh, the driver. Okay. I don't know how Uber is in problem with that, but it turns out that when Waymos are stumped, they get intervention from workers in the Philippines. Quote, they provide guidance. Surge in gas-fired power for data centers with Texas leading. Many of the developers and largest products want to install natural gas plants directly at the site of new data centers, which allows them to avoid the 7-year wait typically required to get a standard grid connection. The amount of gas-fired power generation development in the U.S. tripled over the last year to a record 252 gigawatts, with a third of the planned additions in Texas. Trump to send $39.1 million to Mississippi for winter storm release. Mississippi and places like Tennessee got beat up hard during it. I don't know if they're still out of power in Mississippi, but they're still out of power in Tennessee. I think this is Tennessee right here. Nashville is furious about power outages. Republicans say woke is to blame as Nashville's utility company struggled to recover from a catastrophic ice storm and its Democrat mayor ordered to review. Some conservatives attacked diversity training. Yeah, see, here's some Nashville residents are still without power 2 weeks after the massive winter storm. I don't know how that's even possible in Nashville. How's that possible in Nashville? Silver Group seeks revival of student loan forgiveness lawsuit, saying pause cost taxpayers $175 billion. The NCLA also argued that the Department of Disinformation Education's actions violated the Constitution's appropriations clause by canceling debt without congressional authorization and distorted the labor market. Yeah, good luck. Just cancel it all. Just get it over with. Man wanted for trying to shoot security officer is deceased following officer involved shooting. I think they wrote stuff on the web on the gun, and I think it was where is it at? I know it said something about that. Yeah, here's the armed suspect posing as Secret Service, shot dead. Bullets had inscription on Trump. Police said the man fled the scene with a handgun after it failed to work properly, but left behind an instrument case that contained a loaded shotgun with threatening messages inscribed on the shelves that name once future king President DJT. Portland police said Tuesday that a man who attempted to shoot security officers at a store last week was posing as Secret Service. Has died after officers shot him while he was trying to serve an arrest warrant. In sports, don't worry, sports is just as clownish now as ever. Genital injection sparked cheating allegations at Winter Olympics. Priest friend sent this to me going, what in the world is going on? And we've lost our minds. So the World Anti-Doping Agency has confirmed that the investigation allegations that male ski jumpers this year in the Winter Olympics in Italy, it's in Milan, might have injected hyaluronic acid into their, so they're trying to get bigger jackets because apparently the bigger uniforms will weigh heavier and in theory make you go farther. I don't know who came up with that idea. You know what we need to do? Who's the first one to step up to that one? You're very confused. You're putting words in JD's mouth. You don't understand what's going on. Are you talking about the New World Order thing? Because if I put words in JD's mouth, I literally played JD's mouth. And more in sports here. USA mixed doubles curling takes down Canada. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Awesome. The athleticism you have to do curling. You know, if your sport needs you can do your sport with a keg of beer. It's not really a sport. And I don't know how it's an Olympic sport. I mean, they do this at retirement homes, right? You know what they should do? They should do breakdancing on the ice. Here's just 1 week after tearing her ACL, legendary skier Lindsey Vonn has completed her Olympic training run. So they practice. And a lot of people are going, all right, and I'm pulling the lever on this. I mean, she does have a brace on. It looks like her left leg is the one that she tore it. I have no idea. Now I sold these braces. I was assistant rep, which I made like 15% of what the big dogs made, and did a lot of their work. But I was like a glorified, secretary, and I went on sales calls though. And look at the drone. That drone is keeping up with them. They're going like 120 kilometers an hour, and that drone is right on top of them, which is terrifying itself. So you can race right there. You can kind of see you can see the little indentation. If you know what a brace looks like, you can see the indentation. Looks like she has both legs braced up. And if you have one of those on, I put one on just to test it out, just so I could, describe what it is to someone else. Man, I could squat the house with that thing. That thing will keep your leg. Because the whole thing about the ACL is to keep it, you won't be able to, lateral movement type deal. You can walk straight, you can still walk, but if you try to do any kind of stability, it's not going to work. And those things, that's why the offensive linemen have them on, is for stability. But man, you put that thing on, you got that thing custom made, you got a good brace, that thing is strong. So maybe she did. Maybe that thing is destroyed and she's got a really good brace on me. You could probably pull that off And then on top of the you needle yourself up and kill the pain too as well. I was waiting for the guy that told me that, taking words out of JD's mouth. Former star, football star, I don't know why I said former, Matthew Stafford brought his kids on stage to accept the MVP award, celebrating fatherhood at the NFL honors. I'll go ahead and play Matthew's thing. Matthew's the QB at the LA Rams, formerly Detroit Lions, and went to college at University of Georgia, Fighting Bulldogs.
I just want to start saying thank you. I'm so humbled to be here tonight in front of so many great people, great players, coaches that make this league so special. Just to be in the same breath as you guys is an amazing feeling for me. I want to start from the beginning, kind of for me, my mom, my dad, my sister, the support you guys showed me growing up, taking me to the park, the endless hours and time that you spent helping me chase my dream means the world to me. It's the reason I'm standing here today. To the Rams organization, Mr. Kroenke, Josh, everybody, given the opportunity to play for an unbelievable organization. It's an amazing feeling, and I appreciate that. Les, Kevin, Tony, all you guys, always getting a team together for me and our team to go out there and compete and play at a high level is something we don't take for granted in this league. Sean, a great friend of mine and the best damn leader of men I've ever been around. I am blessed to play for you and work with you, man. It is an unbelievable partnership and something I'm so proud to be a part of. To the guys in the locker room, a lot of people have said it, but truly mean it for me. I mean, my name's going to be on this trophy, but there's so many guys, a lot of you here today, and I appreciate the heck out of you for being here. Your name should be on there too with me, and I really appreciate that. This team was really special. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but man, I'll never forget it. And you guys mean the world to me. And to my favorite people in the whole world, starting with my wife over there. It's going to be hard for me. Kelly, you're unbelievable what you do for our family, the way you support me, the way you support these kids. Shoot, they got guys in the audience tonight know how she supports everybody that's involved in my life, and she's my rock. I want to let you know the sacrifices. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you very much. And to my 4 beautiful daughters who I'm lucky enough to be sharing the stage with. Give it up for them, huh? Chandler, Sawyer, Hunter, Tyler. I'm so happy to be able to teach the blessings and the lessons of this game to you guys, through you guys. You're unbelievable cheerleaders for me. I appreciate it. I am so happy to have you at the games on the sideline with me, and I can't wait for you to cheer me on next year when we're out there kicking ass. And so I'll see you guys next year. Hopefully I'm not at this event, and we're getting ready for another game in SoFi.
And I thought it was good just to see, good things in sports. And Luke Kuechly is inaugurated into the Hall of Fame. Catholic, went to St. X in Cincinnati, Boston College for college. And I'm pretty sure he goes to the St. Gabriel's here in Charlotte. I know him, Ryan Khalil, I think he is as well, and Greg Olson. Friends of people who have they've seen them over at Mass. Pretty good thing. Obviously, I've never met him. My wife saw him at one of the places down the street from St. Anne's, a little burger joint once. But yeah, I've never seen it. But yeah, Luke is inducted in the Hall of Fame. Hence why I have in the title Luke. He is now a Hall of Famer, and again, good Catholic boy. So a little celebration of little sports. There's some good stuff, good stories in there. The organizations might stink, but there's some good people to play. In this day in history, 1840, Treaty of Waitangi is signed in New Zealand between British and Maori troops. 2023, Turkey and Syria hit by a magnitude 7.8 earthquake and a 7.7 aftershock. 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy launch has test flight. 2014, Jay Leno hosted his last episode of Tonight Show. 2012, Anthony Tapes died in Barcelona. Don't know who that is. 1991, Arthur Ashe. He died? Was this day? Died of AIDS, yeah. 1852. They say the difference between Arthur Ashe and Magic Johnson was Ashe took the medicine. 1952, Elizabeth II ascended to the throne of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland following the death of George VI. 1945, Bob Marley was born. 1932, film director Francois Truffaut was born. 1919, German Constitutional Assembly met to form the Weimar Republic. At the meeting, Germany's new leader, Friedrich Ebert, gave a speech in which he implored the Allied powers of World War I not to place harsh penalties on Germany for its role in the war. They did anyways. 1911, Reagan was born in Illinois. 1895, George Herman Babe Ruth, another Catholic man. If you read anything about him, you might not know it. You'll never see it in any of the movies. But one of the priests, Brother Matthias, I think he was a brother. I think he became a priest afterwards. Very influential in Babe's life and made him the man he was. Big time baseball guy was Brother Matthias. And I think Babe had the miraculous medal and rosary on him at all times too. You don't hear about it that often. He was born today in 1895. 1862. You can type in there. You'll find. I think I did an article on it on censusfidelium.com. I might put it. I started a Substack, by the way. If you like Substack, there's a Census Fidelium Substack account now. I'll put that article over there too. 1862, Union Naval Commodore Andrew Foote, leading flotilla of ironclads, captured Fort Henry in Tennessee, a strategic Confederate position during the American War for Southern Independence. 1611, Chongzhen, the 16th and last emperor of the Ming Dynasty, was born. 46 BC, Julius Caesar's forces delivered a final blow against supporters of Pompey the Great in the Battle of Thapsus. Anyways, God love you. Have a great rest of the night and weekend. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Have a great rest of the night. See you on Monday. What was I going to say? If we're on World War III, go to a confession tomorrow just in case we get nuked. And you have all the grace to get into heaven anyways. Anyway, have a great night. God love you. Enjoy the Olympics if you're in the Winter Olympics. I hate the Winter Olympics. I don't care for them that much. But anyways, enjoy it if you want, and God love you.